Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another night. This one, episode 207 of So What's Been Happening. Thanks for joining me again on another Tuesday night, this one, the 10th of March. Petrov Affair. Exciting band name. Is it the Petrov Affair that you know or that you may know? Go and do your research if you don't. So look forward to chatting to Murray and Bruce from Petrov Affair very shortly. So look, most importantly, I'd like to urge everyone at the moment to get out and support live music. There's some great new releases out there, and they're not only all paying gigs. Well, it's all about trying to make a few bucks, but please get out and support pubs and venues that are putting on music for a lot of the times no cover charge or door charge, and also that obviously gets to pay something over the bar, hopefully you can do, or buy some merch, and then in turn that gets to pay the band and a few others along the way. But it's bloody hard out there at the moment, trying to get live music continuing, but I can tell you it's a quiet world without the beautiful tones of music. So you don't realize till you go to complete silence mode and realize how important music is, and how much it touches all your lives. All right, so what we're going to do is just while we're waiting for the boys to come up, we might play a little clip and set the scene, with this one being a bit of assembly point. You'd almost think I'd planned that one. Sets the tone beautifully for the Petrov Affair. All right, let's bring up the boys. Murray and Bruce, thanks for joining me, mate, after that little technical glitch behind the scenes.
All good. No worries. Thanks, Aaron. We've changed rooms, so you might have had our studio stuff in the background before, but now you've got a couple of paintings.
Beautiful. All right, thanks for joining me, most importantly, on a Tuesday night, and thanks to Chris Familton for hooking this one up. Famo, thanks for everything you do, mate, for the music scene, and especially the Petrov Affair and pushing out new music. Welcome, boys. It's a great time to release new music. This one's been in the works for a little while. We'll discuss that a little deeper at the moment, but let's throw a curly one to you first, with no prep as we normally do. Give me your kind of first love in respect of music. Who was your first love that you can remember?
Mine was the Monkees.
Very nice.
Mm.
And a song in particular that really still does it for you in the Monkees.
The theme from.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
As it does.
And
yep.
Daydream Believer is a great song as well.
Yep.
And I think Neil Diamond wrote a lot of songs for them as well. And they're all good.
There you go. What else we got?
And I think mine was Elton John.
Very nice. Yep.
As a very young man, I was into, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, I think, but Tiny Dancer, which we name check in a song even on the album.
And in particular, kind of what was it about Elton John really that's kind of still sticks with you now and still a very much a first love?
Yeah, it was, I think the sort of the flamboyance, but also for me, it was the melody. I think ultimately I'm a melody guy, and it was the way he used melody, the sort of chord changes, the progressions, and the way the sort of melody fitted into that. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what attracted me to that kind of music.
And sure. I was a huge Elton John fan as well. Yes. In fact, our previous band to this one, we based it on the early Elton John band, which was just bass, drums, and piano and vocals. And so we got that out of our system, didn't we?
yeah, that was enough of that.
Went for some beautiful ambience to continue the journey. Who's kind of really inspiring you guys at the moment in that in this not new genre, but very much an in it genre at the moment?
Yeah, like our genre, you mean, Aaron, or what we're doing?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's a whole lot of different kind of stuff. I mean, I talk for me, but I still buy lots of new music, and I really like, I guess the new post-punk kind of stuff, things like Black Country New Road and, through to, I mean, I've always, a lot of those sort of newer bands, Squid and stuff like that. But also, a big influence for me, I suppose, over the last kind of, 20 years really is my love for groups like Mercury Rev that do sort of slightly psychedelic-y rock pop that kind of has a sort of widescreen feel about it.
Yep. All right. Beautiful. We're going to jump straight into the title track. It's an interesting one. It's not a provocative title, but it's a thought-provoking title for sure. And definitely in that moment, the question is, it's raised before, are men a luxury item? We'll bring that one up back in a second. Here it is.
Thinking about a future after 3 years of living in the past. While there's another life behind her eyes, memory is fading fast. She says, men are a luxury item. I think I learned to live without. I said, while I may be tough to maintain, what the grief I've handed out. She tries her best to love me. I understand why she falls short. Got a wardrobe of optimistic clothing that reminds me of my failings every time I open the drawer. Living well may be the best revenge, or no revenge at all.
You've heard of stick drops or mic drops. That's the classic stick drop. Beautifully done, guys.
Well, that was the only song.
There was actually the only track with a live drums in it on the album, and they were played by Tim Powles from the church, who drummed on that one. So that's his call out to Tim. That's his stick drop at the end there.
Beautiful little touch. On purpose or by accident? How did it happen?
It happened by accident first, but as I don't know, I was in the studio when he did it, and straight away just went, that's staying.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we bring back the question, men being a luxury item. Well, are we? I've been called plenty of things in my life, but never a luxury item. Talk to me about that, how this one came about, guys.
Yeah, I think the title came first. Basically, it's one of those that the title came first, with this sort of idea that I guess some of this came about with being sort of back on a dating circuit for a period, and this was the idea that. Particularly as a more mature person, when you're back in that kind of place, it's like, well, who really needs who, and that's kind of where it had started. And there was a few lines tossed around. I think we tossed a bunch backwards and forwards that ended up on there.
Yes, yeah.
Some great lines in amongst this song. About being loved. Not so good at it sometimes.
Yeah, I think our favourite one was, I've got a wardrobe of optimistic clothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've all got optimistic clothing. We've all got those things. It's either one that we might fit into one day, but we're hanging on to them, just in case we do, or two that we think are going to do it for us when we head out.
Yeah, that nice shirt that you go to pull, and then you go, yeah, I'll go conservative. I'll stay conservative today.
Exactly. Yeah, you think, oh, I'm going to pull that on. I'm going to look good, and yeah, maybe not.
Be brave. For all the people that can't see this podcast and only listening to the audio, some beautiful white rimmed glasses. I love the look.
Thank you.
That's very brave, but you pull it off well.
Got to have something. Got to have a point of difference, Aaron.
Calling card. Yeah, absolutely. All right, talk to me about the essence of kind of where this album was born. I believe it was kind of worked through and then almost tossed and started again. Talk to me a little bit about that and why you felt the need to kind of rehash or restart.
So we said, we started this as a duo and essentially finished this album, even though we now have a live band, joined by Dallas Rogers and Ian Empson. But we started kind of recording this as a duo, and we started with the ethos that we were going to kind of do this ourselves, record it ourselves, from scratch, and having only kind of limited studio knowledge at the time, I guess. And so we spent a couple of years recording. We got a bit of help from other people, and so one of the oldest tracks on the album is Back on Top, and we did get help from someone who was a lot more professional than us for that one. But largely we recorded a version of the album ourselves, got to the end of it, got it mastered, and I think I looked at Bruce and went, yeah, it's not good enough.
Yeah. And there was a whole lot of songs on that as well, which aren't on this particular album. So we had quite a bag of songs to choose from for this record, which was good. Yep. So whether we revisit them on the next one, I don't know. But Murray's been writing lots of songs lately, and we probably don't need any of the old ones anymore. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah, probably your own harshest critics. But Bruce, what was it in particular that that kind of needed that work, or why the rehash for you? What was it?
Well, it was, yeah, as Murray said, we were trying to do it all ourselves. I had a music school with a couple of studios there, so we were trying to do it ourselves, and we were just learning all the time. And Murray would come along and say, "I've just worked out how to say make the vocals stand out," and and so we'd listen to that, go, oh, "Okay, all right." Look, Tim Poles, who played drums on that track you just played before, he guided us quite a bit as well. We learnt a lot from him, and sort of being in his studio, and so hence the next record, we're confident that we can churn it out, and it'll be quality.
Yeah. So yeah, we kind of, we were learning as we went, as Bruce was saying, and I think for the first version of it, we just weren't there yet. Basically, was it? We were close on a couple of tracks, and I think we talked ourselves into the fact that we might have been there, but then decided we weren't. And I think we're both glad we did, because what we've released in the end is a far better kind of album. A more coherent album and a better sounding album than what we had.
And Murray has got the mixing down really well now, and to the point where he would send me here's a new mix of that song, here's a new mix of that song, and to the point where it's like, oh no, not another mix. But it was worth it in the end.
What mix revision in particular did this one end up?
Look, it all came out really well, and actually, I think Tim mixed a few of these songs for us as well. But
so four of them ended up being Tim's mixes, and with largely with him and myself in the studio. So actually, Men Are a Luxury Item is a Tim mix, that particular track. So there's a kind of mix of things. So he would have mixed four of them, and I would have mixed six of them in the end.
Yep. And there's a nice balance in between what you mix and he's mixed, and that is that where the magic of that chemistry comes, trying to find that formula, that kind of where they all sit together.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I don't listen to them now and go, oh, that was one of my mixes, that was one of his. I think it just it actually fits together really seamlessly. I don't think you can really tell. It feels like sonically, to me at least, that maybe I've just talked myself into this, but I feel like there's a sonic coherence to the record. That it sort of feels fairly consistent on the way through, which is kind of surprising given how piecemeal some bits of it were recorded.
And look, mastering obviously helps as well. So
yeah, we had that was we didn't skimp on the mastering. We got it properly mastered by a professional, and I think that that really pushes it up a level as well.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. We're going to play. We played a bit of Assembly Point while we were kind of bringing it in. It sets the scene beautifully for the album. Where did that kind of come? Was that one of those kind of jam session type songs that just kind of pulled together, or where did that kind of fit in the mix of the album?
That was
I'm trying to remember that.
Well, I know where it became. It was a version of it I put together for a performance piece I was involved in with some other people, but it just had a skeleton, and so after it had been kicking around for a while after that performance, and I said to Bruce, I think we can do something with this, and so from there we started layering up those vocals and things over the top of it, and we recorded Bruce's acoustic, and then the final piece was putting that sort of retro synth sound over the end of it. So yeah, it had been kicking around for a bit, and it was actually, it was designed as an overture for this performance. So it was always meant to be a starting point for something.
Sure. All right. Let's go with Whiteout. Let's play a bit of that. Here it is.
Left me buried in the snow. Uh-oh. Alone with people I don't know. Oh no. Why would you leave me there? Knew I would melt into despair. Left me standing in the rain again, like some old line so cliche and play me like an instrument, and some icy heart deep in the snow.
Yeah.
Just makes sense that it's got a snowfield, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think that was in Japan, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I just You put the phone on the front of the car and just recorded that, and it kind of had that feel. But that track was actually recorded in the snow. So there's a few tracks on the record that I took a bit of time away in a deserted lodge down at the snowfields, and took some recording gear down there, and that one, Protest Glories and Unseasonal November Snow which it was actually Unseasonal November Snow there when I was there, were actually recorded in the snow in a blizzard, and or at least the bones of them were, but the vocals actually survived from those original recordings in the snow. So they had quite a context about them.
And talk to me about the line about the coat heading to the collection bin and ended up in the op shop again. Talk to me through that. What's that feeling, hey?
Yeah, look, there was nothing specific about that, except that I thought it was an evocative line, and as Bruce said, we like op shops, so we've hung out enough op shops to get a few coats. So.
Yeah, what hangs out in the collection bin ends up at a pride of place at an op shop, only to be taken home by Murray and Bruce to form part of the Petrov Affair. So it's a great way to recycle anything about life, isn't it?
Exactly. Yes.
Exactly. And it was one of those ones. It felt like the sort of song that if I wasn't careful with the lyrics, it could have been cliched. And there's even the line about, standing in the rain and try and meet being a smart ass, and basically saying that's a cliched line within the track, So we're always careful. Well, we feel like we are. We're always careful not to have, cliched music or lyrics if we can help it.
Because there's plenty of that out there already.
Absolutely. Not to mention cliche clips also. But how important, guys, is that kind of visual component for you guys to get across in amongst your music?
Yeah, I think it is important. I mean, we kind of think of what we do, I suppose, as sort of art rock, or we're pretentious twats. So we're art rock or avant pop or something, and having something that's something that's interesting, something that's a little bit different in the clip as well is pretty important to us. And I think I kind of bought that back that idea, and Bruce is like, no one's going to watch that till the end. I was like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As we cut it short beautifully, but it'll give you something to jump on and make sure you check out. So we're going to play the next couple of clips, and we're purposely going to cut these couple short to make sure you get out and see what kind of happens at the end in amongst not only the audio component of the song, but obviously the visual component as well. So here's a bit of Back on Top. This is a great clip.
I'm back on top, though it's such a modest part. Adulate me for a while. I'm back on top. Back on top, though it might only be a view. Just let me enjoy the view. I'm back on top. Are you finally believing that there's something worth retrieving in this man? I'm such a hollowed out human, but tonight on top, I'm back on top, I'm back on top. This might only last a while, just enjoy this short trial. I'm back on top, I'm back on top. If you believe that sentiment, please send me a compliment. I'm back on top.
There you go. Make sure you jump in and check that one out. It's a good feeling, isn't it, to just know those three words? I don't think we say them to ourselves enough, but back on top. It's a feeling of confidence. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a feeling of confidence, but it's also, the lyrics of that track are all about kind of trying to tell yourself you're confident when there's this haunting feeling of that's undermining that at every turn, and so that was kind of the vibe. And there's usually this sort of sense of melancholy through our music, and it definitely comes through quite heavily in that one, I think.
Yeah, you didn't get to the line that most people pick up on, which is no need to masturbate today. A special friend has come to stay.
It's a great line.
It's everyone's favorite line. Yes,
it's a great line.
Content.
Adult content. Yeah, warning.
Yeah. There's the Petrov warning. Beautifully done. Well, we must touch on the Petrov Affair. Talk to us about the name, guys. Obviously, there's a history to the name, but talk to us about, why was it for you, and why did this suit this band so much?
Murray came up with it, and I was familiar with the actual Petrov Affair, and it was straight away, it's a great name. And so we decided to that was going to be the name of the band, and Shall I tell my story about the old newspapers I found?
Yeah, do it.
Oh, and look, my father sadly passed away a couple of months after we decided to call the band the Petrov Affair, and we were cleaning out his house, and for some reason we thought, well, we'll go up in the ceiling and see what's up there, and we found all these old newspapers from the 50s all stacked up. It's like, oh, hello, and pulled them out, and they were all about the Petrov Affair. So like all the headlines were the Petrov Affair, and that was all that was up there. So that was really weird. Yeah. I don't know why my father was collecting those newspapers and secreting them away, but yeah, anyway, there you go.
Yeah.
And I think, I think we thought that the name was sort of evocative, and because, even if you didn't know what the whole, spy Australian espionage stuff was from the 50s was all about, it had that kind of feeling of it's about something, but it's also got the word affair, and our songs touch on all that kind of stuff as well. And so it felt kind of right for this, and it's very Australian, and I think that even with the Russian vibe, but it just seemed to fit right from the start, and we went, that's it, that's the name of this project.
Yep. And given Men Are a Luxury Item is out now as an album, it's just been dropped and your baby's in the kind of world now. How's the reaction been in the last few days?
It's been good. Yeah. People have been buying them, which is good. We're not on the charts yet, but yeah, it's good. And we're very proud of it. It's finally happened. So yeah, the next one hopefully will be a bit quicker coming out.
Yeah, it's nice. It seems to, the small sort of, critical response we've had so far has been really positive, and certainly, people that have listened to it have sort of contacted us and said how much they liked it. So, we're, as Bruce said, we make our music for ourselves ultimately. If we're happy with the outcome, that's great. If other people like it, that's even better. Yeah. And so far with this, as I said, we're really kind of proud of the final thing, and that's kind of the main thing. We played a couple of shows on the weekend up on the Central Coast and Newcastle, and it was nice to be playing those songs. We hadn't been up there before, so nice to play to people that hadn't heard them, and again, the sort of vibe from the live shows I think was really good as well.
It was great. That was very good.
All right, let's talk visuals, because we touched on that before, but obviously the single out there as well, the classic shot of the mannequins in the window. Not too much luxury items hanging off those mannequins. I'd said there, say Murray and Bruce had been in there and raided that op shop early.
The album cover, kind of came first, and that was that just came after us sort of looking at a bunch of photos online to find something we thought kind of suited it, and we loved that one, so that became the cover, and I did a bit of photoshopping and whatever, and that's the artwork was the artwork done, and that the photo of the single, that was pretty haphazard. My partner and I were walking through Melbourne and just came up against that shop, and I just snapped that photo, and it was like, that just fits so nicely with the other image, and so we got the mannequin theme going on, and more recently we've now got a mannequin or a half mannequin that comes with us live, Bruce.
Yes,
you picked up.
Yes, I found her in a paddock, literally. But so now we use that at our gigs as a stand for the merchandise. So with the album sit on it. So and she will appear in our next film clip, which will be another song off the album called "Never Trust a Man."
Seems so fitting, doesn't it?
It is.
Yeah, so we call her Doris.
Doris,
Doris
yeah.
comes with us now.
Is Doris here?
Doris is actually in the boot of my car.
Oh.
Beautiful. Don't,
I might get arrested at some point.
yeah, don't leave those legs hanging out.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to play a little bit of the ballet. Here it is.
Surgery at the Ballet. Saved a little spare change for the valet. And when he parked the car, she watched them from afar with her binoculars, smudging her mascara. She watched the man she loved dancing with a woman she loves, holding her above a pirouette of love a bit of breast implant at the Ballet. Everything's gotta be fun. It's the first thing that you learn. And as the flowers rain down the Ballet, the stage was covered with petals. Shoes were cast aside. The dress circled along. The understudies looked for. Break a leg, break a leg, break a leg, break a leg.
Gotta love that old footage. How good is it? Anyone that can't see that in amongst only listening to the audio component of that, there's some great old ballet footage. Where did you source that, guys?
YouTube.
Yeah, it's out there somewhere.
The song had been, we were trying to work out what we're going to do for a film clip. And there was one day Murray was in one of the studios mixing, which is what he always does. And I was just messing around on the computer looking for old footage. And there it was. And then I lined up the song with that footage, and it just fitted perfectly right from the start. And so we didn't have to do anything. It was great. And so that's how that came about.
And I think Bruce. Yeah, Bruce called me out and just said, "Check out this," and it was like, "Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Get it in the shops."
We did have some trouble though, because the footage itself wasn't under copyright, but it had been used in a documentary, and the documentary had copyright. So we released the single, and then for the first couple of weeks it kept getting pulled down from the streaming services because of the footage. But yeah, the footage itself was over 70 or 80 years old and out of copyright. But actually it was 100 years old, wasn't it?
It's 100 years old, so there's no copyright.
But no copyright.
Yeah. So, but anyway, Warner Music jumped on us, and but we stated our case, and we got away with it.
We won.
Yes,
we fought the man.
We beat Warner Music.
Yes, and most importantly, brought back a classic. I don't think enough of that older sort of footage that was so classic in its time. Yeah, it just shows you what the ballet, the beauty of ballet is. Really, it's one of those things that just timelessly sits in that pocket, that it doesn't matter how many generations come through, it evolves over time, but ultimately it's still that beautiful art form that is the ballet.
It's interesting to watch the much older footage and how, as you say, how much it has evolved and how different it is from kind of modern ballet. I think they were a husband and wife, famous Russian ballet couple, actually. Yeah,
and it's funny how back then you didn't have to be the shape of a cigarette. You could actually have a bit of weight and be a ballet dancer,
as long as the line shows that firmness is what it's about, though.
Yep, everything's got to be firm.
Yeah, this was probably the most kind of in a sense the lyrics are still supposed to be evocative, but they're also kind of throwaway. I recall us sort of writing this, and we were basically throwing lines at each other, and that's kind of where it ended up.
Oh yeah, because Murray turned up to the studio that day, and you'd been listening to the radio, and there was an interview with a gentleman who was a ballet critic, and his line was, you get a lot of plastic surgery at the ballet, and he was talking about the people who go to the ballet. And as soon as Murray said that, look, we pretty much had that song written that night. And
and here's some ballet critics in themselves. Look at those two.
That's during our cape period, which everyone still wants us to wear, but we don't use flashy gimmicks anymore.
No.
When we played as just the two of us with some electronic backing for a while, that we did used to pull out the capes now and again, and you got to be careful about a cape. Gets caught in things.
It does, yeah. And if you're trying to play guitar, it restricts, especially if you want to do a Pete Townsend windmill.
Absolutely.
You just get tangled in it. Yeah.
Yes. Which Bruce does.
Which I like to do the windmill every now and then.
Yeah.
The as you refer to in the line, the pirouette of love.
There you go.
All right. Well, tell me.
Oh, sorry.
Go for it. Sorry, go for it.
Oh, no, I was going to say that's the track that does have the Elton John reference in it as well. It's
Ballerina. You should have seen it from what's Elton's song?
Tiny Dancer.
Yeah. And the violin on that is a teacher who used to work at my studio, and he used to play in a Australian prog rock band in the early 70s called Piranha. So we're honoured that he played violin on that track for us. So yeah,
great name. All right, well, I'm just on that. I'd like to, maybe you could nominate a couple of artists out there that you'd kind of love to collaborate with one day, maybe, and add a little flavour into the Petrov Affair.
Are we talking local artists, Aaron, or
are we talking?
Let's
alive?
How about you give us a local, and let's go big after that.
Okay. Bruce, you go first.
Collaborate with somebody. No, look, I really can't answer that question because I don't think I want to collaborate with anybody apart from Murray, because we get each other. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I wish you'd given us a question list before we came on your show.
Yes, that's okay. That's not how we roll, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Feel free to hit the skip button anytime.
Yeah.
No. I'm just trying to think of who it'd be. I'm sure there'd be people you'd say I'd love that person to come in and play a solo on whatever instrument,
or a big name artist which would guarantee you a record sales.
Well, shout out to one of the loves that we've spoken about many a time already on this show with Elton John. Who knows?
Well, that's Sir Elton John.
Absolutely, to be precise.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Petrov Affair.
Yeah, I'd faint if he came into the room. I would just immediately faint.
Absolutely.
And
As
Aaron,
we all.
it might be when we collaborate with the Sydney Symphony Orchestra.
There we
The
go.
Petrov Affair versus
Yes.
the Sydney Symphony Orchestra. There we go. Or maybe
Makes
we should have a
perfect
rapper
sense.
in. Maybe we should get a rapper in.
Oh,
We
yeah.
get a member of 1-4 in to rap over our gear. I
There
reckon
we go.
that'll work.
You've got the contact there. Yeah.
I was going to say
Although
there's
the
a
police had shut us down, though.
makes sense for a perfect remix for the Petrov Affair.
Exactly.
All right, we're going to kind of do a bit of a quick fire 10 questions to finish off, if you don't mind, guys. All right, which band member is most likely to start a conversation with "Hear me out"?
With "Hear Me Out."
Hear me out.
Is it one of us or is it Ian or Dallas?
Yeah. Actually, I think it's you, Murray.
It's me.
Yeah. It's Murray.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that it probably was actually.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, that's fair enough. All right, if men are a luxury item, was sold in a department store, one, what aisle would it be in? And what would it be that's on for sale? Given your op shop provocateurs.
I mean, I think it would have to actually be the mannequin on which some other item is hanging.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a famous aisle number or floor level of the department store.
Ladies' underwear.
Just kind of makes sense after Doris has taken part of the band on.
We need to get Doris some clothes as
We
well.
do.
Yeah.
I know she is naked. Yeah.
And being in that ambient kind of feel in a few tracks here, which track on the album required the most emotional support? Snacks maybe during the recording. What kind of took the most maybe time or needed the most leveling and working through?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like some of them came together really well. I won't say easily.
Yeah.
Everything was worked on pretty heavily, but
I think "Never Trust a Man" was a bit of an epic one to record. Like there's lots of guitar layers, and we just kept recording guitars, and then sort of put them all together. So it's I think that's the one that took the longest.
There is a lot of layers on that, and Bruce played a lot of, like, there's EBO in there, like the sort of atmospheric sound that you hear in that one. Yeah, you could think it might be a synthesizer or something. It's actually Bruce's EBO guitar layered over one another,
which is impossible for me to do live. So hence we have a little bit of a backing track on that one.
And the beauty that is the voice, the one of the best instrument of all. Obviously, being able to sing and put backing vocals and harmonies in some respect. Do you find that's kind of a journey of layering as well?
Definitely, yeah. I'm not, I usually do a lot of takes to get the vocal that I want, and particularly when we haven't been playing live, I kind of find my voice is not as good as it can be when we play more. I'm singing better and I get my takes down more quickly. But I mean that takes time, and I'm probably my own worst critic when it comes to vocal takes, aren't I, Bruce?
Yep, definitely. Yeah. Hence, Mary say, here's another mix with a different vocal or something. Okay. And but it always ends up better. So yeah.
Do you throw back the question, Bruce, to which one do you like, Murray?
And look, I'm going to be totally honest here. Sometimes I haven't listened to all the mixes he sent me because I know there'll be another one, the next day. So I'm coming clean now.
Fair enough.
No, I do know that sometimes they, if I send too many, it's like, Bruce has switched off. He's gone. He's taking the dog for a walk.
That's it.
And to be totally transparent, Bruce, Murray's only sending you half of what he's recorded.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, probably.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I was going to say, Aaron, I mean, the interesting thing is we've kind of got most of the next album recorded already. It's going to be a much quicker process. And, just with what we've learned. And I think even the vocals, we got some new gear and whatever. That's all going down so much more quickly. And and this time with the full band, with Ian and Dallas as well, and it just
it makes our life easier. We don't have to play all the instruments, so so which is great. Yeah, we've got other people to do that.
Very nice. Do you find yourself being a little bit more creatively free on the instruments you kind of do play now that someone else has kind of got their bit sorted or taken that on?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Great.
Well, usually, Bruce or I or a friend of ours, Glenn Cohn, who played bass on the album, and
a couple of tracks,
and so it's nice not to have to worry about that. Ian's a fantastic bass player, and so that's just he nails it really quickly. There's Dallas is a perfectionist when it comes to drums, so it just makes it so much easier not to have to manage that. But I think we'll end up with a very different feel next time around because of that as well.
Great. All right. Who in the band is most offended by the idea that men are a luxury item, and who leaned into that just a little too eagerly?
So who's offended by it? Did you say?
Yeah. Who's most offended by that idea, or is anyone?
No, I don't think anyone is, but we have sort of worried about whether we're going to offend the audience, and whether we're going to get cancelled for whatever reason, for the wrong reason.
Dallas, our drummer in particular, said, we're going to get cancelled. What?
And then he saw the album cover. He goes, "We're definitely going to get cancelled." Yeah.
Well done.
If you look at the inner label, there you go. You got to buy the album to see the inner label.
Yeah. So our inner label on the album, on the vinyl, doesn't have an A and a B. It's top and bottom.
Perfect.
And it's basically nude male mannequins either side.
With the hole in the middle. Yeah.
Nice little twist. Absolutely.
Yes.
So to speak. All right. If your album had a spirit animal, what slightly confused creature would it be?
A mollusk.
A mollusk. I think the mollusk has been done.
Yeah, it has been by Ween. Yeah, sorry, Ween. A spirit animal. The album. Yeah.
I feel like it's like a snow leopard or something.
Nice.
Just because of that, it does have that, the snowy feel about it, and I think that kind of runs through the album to an extent. It's kind of I think it's a wintry album, and it's got a certain iciness about it in places, and I feel like the snow leopard.
Yeah, all right, I'll take that on board.
Yeah. All right. Which song on the album was closest to causing maybe a diplomatic incident in the studio?
There isn't a song on the album that, but there's some that we've left off the album, which may have.
Beautiful. Yeah.
No, I'm loving them all.
Great.
Yeah, I think the ones I don't think there was any on there that we were, that was going to create a Petrov Affair for us. It was, I think we pretty much agreed on the final lineup of songs pretty easily.
I mean, we've known each other for over 20 years, and I don't think we've ever argued, have we?
I don't think so, Bruce.
No.
Unless Aaron can get us arguing now.
Yeah, Aaron, go for it.
Let's not start now. Yeah. It's great that you've you got so much new material kind of behind you as well. Was that did that just come naturally as you were kind of honing and putting together this album, that you just kind of got on the run for it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll have little writing fits basically, and it usually just comes when the last thing's finished. I won't write for a long time, and then I'll kind of write 8 songs really quickly when they're needed. They just come when they're needed, and that's how the lot that we're working on now came about. Where it was pretty much once this finished, wasn't it? It was
like, we were having, the rest of the band, we were having trouble keeping up with Murray. Murray was just coming along saying, I've got a new song idea. And like, we were just banging them out. And it's like, whoa, in fact, we were actually thought our second album will come out before our first at one stage.
That's probably been done before.
It probably has. Yeah. We had a few issues with the pressing of this album. So, but Murray's got a whole bag of new songs, which is fantastic.
Nice. All right. If you had to describe the band's evolution using only food metaphors, what oddly specific meal is the band?
Well, it's a vegan meal.
Sure.
It probably is.
Yeah. But what dish?
Would it be like, are we teriyaki eggplant?
I'm going to come clean now. I don't like eggplant.
Oh, well, not that then.
Yeah,
we're definitely not that. Are we, sort of that nice fried spicy cauliflower?
Yes, I was thinking that. Yeah, like tahini cauliflower.
Yeah, tahini cauliflower.
Yeah.
That's a good
we call it the brain.
The brain.
It looks like a brain when you take it out of the oven.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like an album cover in itself, ready to go.
Actually,
there you go. Put it down.
At least the single. Called The Brain.
Yeah, The Brain. Yeah. All right. Heard it first.
Not a bad name. Tahini cauliflower. That's a good band name.
we will credit you with that one if we use it.
Yeah, please. Someone out there use it, please. Surely every other band name's been taken, other than the Petrov Affair. Now it has. It's a great name. All right, here we go. Last couple. What can fans expect next from you guys, other than a couple of great gigs? Chaos, calm, or something in between? What's coming next for Petrov Affair?
Look, I think it's going to be semi-chaotic, and yeah, the new batch of songs. It's a slight change for us. Probably maybe a little bit rockier, but yeah, and still with lots of there'll be lots of swear words in it because Murray can't help himself, and it'll be great. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we try to be fairly relaxed when we play live and things. So sometimes Bruce and I can't shut up when we're on stage between songs, which is a bit of an issue. But so it can be semi-structured and chaotic at the same time. But yeah, the new songs are definitely a sort of step heavier. I think they've still got a certain atmospherics about them, but it's kind of different. It's definitely a different vibe. And probably a little bit, dare I say, edgier or nasty is not quite the word, but they tackle slightly different subjects. This album is a bit of a sort of song cycle about relationships and feelings in those relationships. The next one I think is probably more about relationships that have been going for a long time and the issues around that. So it's slightly different, slightly harder, and
a little bit more synthesizer based as well. There's a lot of synth stuff going on. Murray has would you buy some synthesizer recently? And so delving into a lot of those sort of late 70s and 80s synth sounds. So that's, that'll be a bit different.
Yeah, I was just about to say if there was an influence kind of coming on the next feel for, what would it be? So thanks for giving us that little insight as well. Most importantly, here's what you've got to do in the next week or so. We've got to talk about these couple of gigs. Now, you've obviously been able to play the first couple, which you mentioned, but the one coming up in 27th of March at the Mosh Pit, Newtown, with a show favourite of ours, Golden Fang, and Tired AF, they say these days. We all know what that means. So just tell us a bit about that show coming up, guys. What do you why should the punters get along and come and see you guys there?
Well, that's a great lineup. It's great to be playing with Golden Fang again. Good friends of ours, and we did the Whiteout single launch with them, and they're a great band and great live acts. So it'll be fun to play with Carl and the guys again.
It's a great venue, a nice intimate venue, and it's not too hard to pack it out, which is good. Which looks good.
Yeah. And Tide AF, I don't know if you know them, Aaron, but they're much more sort of folky and sparse. Three, if I've got this correct, three female singers that all share the singing and songwriting, and it's quite a contrast. We kind of like playing with contrasty acts, that rather than getting three bands that are the same. I mean, we played with Drugs in Sport on the weekend, for example, who are pretty kind of full on rocky, punky compared to us, and it's just nice. I like that idea of having a bit of contrast and letting people see things they might not otherwise see when they watch bands like us, or whether they watch bands like Lion Island or Drugs in Sport.
Yeah, it's always good. And I always urge people to get along and don't just come for the headline. Make sure you get out and come right from the start. Bring your mates, check out a band you've never seen before, and stay for the entire experience, because I guarantee you walk away with just a little hint of some magic. Well, a lot more than a hint. You're going to get a hell of a lot of big dose of magic in amongst this album. So, guys, I really wish you all the best for this album. It's been in the works. It's been a big mixture. It's a perfect cake ingredients now to set you up for what's next for you guys into another album. So all the best with it, most importantly. We'll see you at a gig very soon. And thanks for joining me tonight on So What's Been Happening.
Thank you, Aaron. That's great.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us, Aaron.
Yeah.
We'll see you out there soon.
Cool.
Great to have the guys from the Petrov Affair, to Murray and Bruce. Thanks for joining me tonight. We never set a time frame, but we kind of always like to try and chat for 45 to an hour if we can. And thanks again to Chris Familton for connecting the dots here with the boys. We wish them all the best with this album, and most importantly, get out and see a live gig this weekend if you can. Drag a mate. It's only Tuesday, so you got the rest of the week to plan and get out there and see some great bands. See you out there and have a great week.